Hey, bud.
Gang.
You're really quiet.
Do we have more time this time?
No.
Blood, better hurry up, man.
Yeah, we'll make do. No, I was just thinking about that earlier today. I was like, never got that pro version. So it's okay because I just got done working out and then I had a consultation. And so I had like a shake and a banana after, but I'm already hungry. So after 40 minutes talking with you goons, I'm going to be starving.
Yeah, most likely.
I almost purposely didn't get the pro version.
Love says he's got to poop.
All right, then. Tell him
What a bum.
Tell him to go ahead and join and then just kind of bring us in there with him.
Okay. Answer anyway.
Re-downloading Zoom. I'm gonna say we want to poop with you.
Look at this guy.
What's that?
It's called Dead Guy Ale.
Okay.
Rogue Dead Guy Ale.
Hey, that doesn't look like your bathroom.
You liar.
What are you talking about?
Did you bring a bucket in there?
I have no recollection of anything you're saying.
I beg to differ. What's the alcohol content?
Blo's got one too. Blo's got an IPA too. It is 6.8.
Get on my level. I'm drinking straight vodka over here.
What do you got, Dan?
I mix my beer in my vodka.
Ooh.
Oh God, you're not drinking beer and vodka.
No, it's water.
Okay. I'm like, oh my God.
Dan's developed a problem.
I'm becoming Russian, actually.
I think this might be my last one for a little bit.
You're gonna have to.
9%.
9? Wow.
It's actually really good. The Sierra Nevada IPAs are really good.
Yeah, I like pretty much everything I've had from them is pretty okay.
They got that hazy. My favorite's the hazy. This one's pretty good, but I like the hazy little thing.
Dude, 9 is pretty high for that particular brand. I feel like usually theirs are like 6s top.
Flip it upside down, boy.
Yeah.
I haven't had a Sierra Nevada in a while. That I had no idea that was Sierra Nevada. That looks because they're like their original can had like the mountains and they were green and stuff like that, right? It's all
so, yeah.
That looks like
Trippy.
Yeah, it has more of a hippie vibe to it.
I think the hazy little thing is like it looks very similar to this, but it's like bluish, like aqua almost.
Isn't there like is that like from a summer line blow where they've made like 4 or 5 different ones?
I'm not gonna say the summer line, but they have something like that they do. So there's like 4. I think there's like 4 different ones in like a 12-pack or something.
It's amazing the amount of beers that you can get now. You can literally try a new beer like every time you go to drink and not drink the same beer twice.
Yeah, I cannot drink any domestic beer. It's awful.
What?
Terrible.
All
terrible. Awful.
You don't drink it for the taste. You just drink it to kind of quench your thirst and be part of the party.
Part of the cool kids.
Yeah, I just drink it to be cool, basically.
But yeah, once you drink one of these though, and then you go drink a Bud Light, you're like, I'm drinking piss water.
It's just like there's just no comparison. Like that's an actual ale. Like that's a legit beer. And Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light is right next to water.
Mm-hmm.
But those are more caloric and
piss water. It's got a tang to it.
They're the ones making billions of dollars. It's just water. It's just crappy water.
Yeah. I have a harder time justifying buying domestic beer when I'm out. Like getting a case, you can be like 24 beers for $20. But when you get a Bud Light out at a bar and it's like $4, it feels like robbery. opposed to an IPA, which is a little bit heavier, more in alcohol. It's like, all right, I'll pay a little bit more, but at least I know I'm gonna get drunk off this. Bud Light, it does not alter my state of mind at all.
You're wasting your money. You go buy a $4 Bud Light at dinner out at a restaurant. Absolutely waste your money.
Really sounds awful.
I mean, I
You
do
remember, Dan, what was the special at Monmouth at one of those bars? It was like 25-cent pitcher of PBR or something. It was really cheap. It was so cheap.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
remember
pretty
you
sure it's
saying
PBR.
that. I think they were 75 cents because you guys said you'd go with quarters.
Yeah, we would go quarters, and it was dumb cheap.
Like it was 75 cents for a pitcher of
A
PBR.
pitcher.
I don't remember what you're talking about.
I remember you talking about that, Blow.
You weren't drinking back then or something. I don't know.
I was drinking spiced rum back then.
Oh, the best.
No, did you said Monmouth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was back in the days when I didn't drink during the week, but I would drink an entire fifth of like Lady Bly or Lieutenant Dan or Admiral Nelson.
Lieutenant
Captain
Dan,
Morgan.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Admiral Nelson is just as bad. Oh my gosh, so bad.
I'd have that cherry Pepsi and that bottle double fisting.
Remember Kraken?
Yeah.
Remember,
So dark.
Love, remember when you had to pour out all that cracking at ISU?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
waste.
My greatest Kraken times. I just chugged that thing. So
What'd you say to him? You're like, what would you do if I just chugged this? And he's like,
yeah,
"Duh." Like, well, I'm gonna
essentially, yeah.
do
I
it.
was like, I'm pouring this out. You mean like, but what happens if I just take a drink? And he's like, well, just pour it out. All right. And I looked at him and just started chugging it. I did as much as I could, and I started pouring. I'm like, oh my god, that stuff was so bad.
Yeah, it made you feel good though.
Oh, I mean, it was great. Yeah, great drunk. Like that was the bad part. Was like it was a blackout easy.
Mm-hmm.
That was the problem.
Shannon called a blackout in a bottle. That's how I learned about it, was through him, and that was the nickname for the type of alcohol.
Dude, that thing was so dark too.
Yeah,
it
it was like
literally black.
Yeah, it reminded you kind of Jaeger, but it tasted better. Like it was
Yeah.
Jaeger was the same. Jaeger was the same way though.
Blackout.
Never a fan.
And a terrible hangover.
Never.
Not a good hangover. Yeah.
Boy, we've come a long way from then.
Yeah, right.
Good times.
I still remember getting like a handle of UV blue and like drinking that.
I never drank that shit ever in my life. I'm not a girl.
I was noob. It was cheap.
My first shot was Jaeger.
I don't know what my first shot was.
Okay.
Probably Captain. When I first started drinking, Captain was the best.
Mine was not Gem Clear.
Gem Clear was awful.
It was a really terrible vodka, and it was at U of I
Gem Clear's
when we were
fucking
seniors.
Everclear.
When I was a senior, and I was laughing at Ted dry heaving for like 2 hours straight in the bathroom.
It was one of the funniest, hardest
dry
I've laughed in my life. I about threw up from laughing so hard.
What was that? Was that Gem Clear? It was one of those terrible ones.
Gem Clear is not vodka.
It was Everclear.
Gem
Not
Clear is
Everclear.
green alcohol. It's like Everclear.
There was something that was really bad.
It'll fuck you up.
The most generic vodka there was.
Well, this isn't.
And we mixed it with like fruit punch or like Gatorade. I think it was Gatorade, like powdered Gatorade.
Was it McCormick's? That was a pretty generic.
McCormick's, that's exactly what it was. It was McCormick's. God, it's awful.
It comes in that plastic bottle. You know you don't want it.
Yeah.
It was like, dude, you could get a handle for
Cheap.
$10.
Stay far away from plastic liquor.
Golly. I
Nothing.
can't believe we remember that. Can't believe I remember that.
Well, shit, it was almost 10 years ago. Oh, more than 10 years ago.
More than that, yeah. The first time I was 18. So yeah, 10 years.
I
I know how things can change in 10 years.
I feel so much healthier. All the
Yeah,
time.
right.
Well, you know what? Actually, I never felt unhealthy during that whole phase. That's not true. Actually, I did have like a stuffy nose, and I don't know, I had like a sinus infection for like 2 months or something. But I feel like that was just from sharing blunts and stuff. But
Well,
but when you're 19, you just feel like you're 19. Nothing hurts
yeah,
you.
but when you get older and you actually start living a more healthy lifestyle and you think back, you actually do know that you feel better now. You know what I'm saying? Like we just didn't feel unhealthy then because it was the norm and we are like kids. We didn't fucking know any better. But like after you have a streak of healthy and then you go back to eating shit or drinking a bunch of shit, you know how bad it was back then.
Dude, I love it.
All I gotta do is do it one time now. If I try to drink even like a quarter of a bottle of whiskey anymore, I'm done. Like I feel it for 3 days. Or
Yeah.
I don't know about 3 days, but I don't like to over.
First day is bad.
Terrible day.
Second day I still feel it. Third day I can do my normal thing, but it's not the same.
Yeah, I guess you're kind of right. Because if I get super fucked up and the next day sucks, then the following day there's like a lag and it feels weird. Like it's almost out of body. Like I'm not present. Then the
My
following
brain fog.
brain fog is like, that's what comes 2 days after. And then 3 days, it's like, okay, I'm kind of good. But I'm with you, dude. Like, I don't like it.
Awful. It's not worth it.
Not
I love it when clients hit that point when they start to eat like really well and then they eat something shitty and they're like, oh my God, it made me feel so bad.
Yep.
I'm like, yes,
Good.
that is what you need. That's the driver that you need. Now think about that every time you eat something.
Well, that's what we did, like I always tell stories about, remember when we got the day-old dozen from Casey's and tried to eat them all? Like I felt so shitty that scars me to this day, to where like I physically can't, I don't know if it's mentally or physically, I cannot gorge on donuts because like
so
it's almost PTSD. So it's good when people experience that shit because it helps you conceptualize how it's like trash food.
Do you remember the last time you offered me those donuts at your house, Wes?
Yeah.
What did I say? I forget.
I don't know. It was something about throwing it in the trash because that's where it belongs. Because it's just garbage.
It was this big fat donut with like way too much icing and sprinkles, and I was like, that is literally just I might as well be putting garbage into my body. So just throw it away. I don't want it.
Straight diabetes.
Yeah. Yeah, like there's I mean, like I like to smash an apple pie. I don't know, maybe there's not a difference between an apple pie and a donut, but
I would say there's more. I'd say apple pie is more practical than a donut. A donut is as bad as it gets. It is sugar and like a dough like that.
Straight process. At least I guess some apple is like somewhat real.
Yeah, I mean like
sometimes.
There's real apple slices in it.
Right.
I think it makes more sense for sure. But donuts are just fire, so I'm always gonna like donuts. I just can't eat too many of them.
I feel weird eating Krispy Kremes. Krispy Kremes, I'm just like, I feel like I'm eating a cotton ball of sugar.
Yeah, just disintegrates.
Well, remember every time we went to Walmart, you guys would start your day off with a donut.
We would eat one while we were walking around and never pay for it.
No one ever stopped, ever, not once.
Every time.
Yeah. That blueberry. Give me that blueberry.
Those are good. Yeah.
Dude, one time I was in Walmart and there was like 4 shelves high of just got stocked of Pop-Tarts. Just a fucking wall of Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, Pop-Tarts were a thing.
What?
I forgot about Pop-Tarts.
Yeah. Dude, that's the same way. You eat one of those Pop-Tarts, after you've been eating healthy, you feel that in your stomach like immediately. Before you're even done eating the whole thing, you're just like, that is sitting in my stomach. Super weird. Super weird.
So easy to eat too.
Yeah, so I'm about to go keto again, I think. I'm going to. I need to. But I haven't done that since been at NIU. So it's been 6-7 years.
What
did
was
keto at NIU?
keto like for prep?
Yeah, when we did it on prep. Yeah, it's been that long.
I like it.
Bluff, have you heard of a guy named Layden Norton?
Yeah, Lane Norton.
I've never talked to him before, but I sent him a message and asked him what he thinks about it, about keto and keto mixed with chemo.
Right.
I have no response yet, but I'm interested to hear what he would say.
Bio Lane.
Violin.
I don't know how much he knows on the subject.
You know,
You
Raven,
did that over Instagram?
Yeah.
dude, they'll usually answer back to you if it's a legit question. Those big names.
I mean, I asked it in a super respectful and educated way.
Is he big on keto?
No, he hates keto.
He hates keto.
Oh.
Well, he just hates fad diets. He thinks
right.
He
just
believes
thinks,
in calories in, calories out. So I mean, he's more focused on, what it takes to build muscle, shred fat. But he's a PhD, and he would be. I think he would be aware of any studies on the subject, and he could at least point me to the direction to say hey, read this study. So that's what I was thinking. I'm not sure if he's going to know anything. He doesn't specialize in oncology or anything in nutrition, but he would at least, I feel like, have at least read a study or know of a study that he could point us to. But I mean, like the study that you pulled up, I feel like I only read, so I didn't read all of it. I read the abstract and the conclusion, but I mean, it was a study done. It wasn't just some article. So
Right.
But I think that he could find a study, but it's definitely going to be a reliable study. There's some studies out there that they've never been cited before,
Right.
So that they don't have, even though it's a study, it's never been cited. Either if it's 2 or 3 years old and it's never been cited, it's probably not a good study, even though it's
peer reviewed and everything.
Yeah. So I think my idea was that he would know of something. He could at least point us in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time since I really looked into that kind of stuff. But I think it was around that time at Northern and everything. Because when we were getting into the keto aspect, so I was just looking into that kind of stuff. But from what I can remember, is that yes, you essentially starve the cancer cells, is what happens. And then they got nothing to eat off of, so they just go away. They pretty much just die out because they're not feeding off anything. Do you guys follow Mark Bell at all?
Mm-hmm.
You see, he does 1 meal a day, and he's carnivore.
I knew he was carnivore. I didn't really know about the 1 meal a day. He looks fantastic.
Yeah. So I'm interested in that too. I mean, it's practically the same thing almost.
Keto
Pretty
and
close.
or the 1 meal a day.
But I mean, I like my veggies, so I'll probably eat veggies. I gotta have some sort of feeling.
Carnivore doesn't really sound. I mean, I've listened to people that are either have done it or are doing it and have counting effects and results, but it just seems strange to cut out all those micronutrients you would get from.
Well, so the thought,
fiber.
what I've heard explained multiple times is that if you don't take in certain nutrients, you don't need certain other nutrients to help them process. So it's only because you eat all these other nutrients that you have to eat these nutrients to help them go through your body and whatnot. So if we can essentially survive on the carnivore on just meat, because you're getting your meats and your fats and your amino acids and everything, proteins through the meat. So you don't necessarily need all that other stuff. Does that make sense?
Period where if you cut that stuff out, your body has to figure out that one's not coming in, so I don't need it anymore.
Maybe. Kind of wouldn't that be the keto flu in a way, where you're just
kind of like
groggy and that kind of stuff?
Period where it's kind of switching over.
Which I mean, I could always just kind of ease into it too as well, and just do 100 carbs a day, or just carb cycle in a way.
You could do less than 100. You could easily start with 50, and then you could cut down even sooner if you wanted to.
Right.
When I did keto, that's what I started with.
I haven't cared about that shit for 6-7
Dude,
years.
it's gonna make eating so much easier.
I probably will. Yeah, I'm gonna eat so many vegetables. I need more hot
It's like
sauce.
veggies and like fatty meats, and like nuts and shit. Like keto groceries were cheaper. The cooking was easier. You eat less food because of like the fatty stuff is more dense with nutrients. You guys are frozen. That's not good.
Yeah.
You both frozen.
What's going on here? Oh, hey, yeah.
You froze.
Yeah.
My internet.
I mean, I feel like carnivore sounds like a weird thing. It sounds like a weird diet. Like so is paleo and so is keto. But if you like, I just watched The Lost City of Z. Do you guys know what that movie is?
No.
No. Well, it's so they're in the jungle. It's about a British explorer looking for like the ancient ruins in Amazonia back in like the early 1900s. But anyway, the point of it is that they didn't eat it. They starved until they found a hog to shoot. Like they only wanted to eat meat. And like, you know, they could pick a fruit off the tree, or if they found something they could eat it, right? But their first thing wasn't to eat fruit and vegetables. I feel like I think their first instinct was to eat meat. And if you think about like humans have been hunting for like a long time. If you go back, like look at what are the Indians eating? What are in the jungle? What are they trying to eat? What are the Africans trying to eat? I don't think they're trying to. I mean, eventually we did start to cultivate. Like they grew corn, they grew maize. That's what they call it. They grew corn, and they started to do agriculture. But before that, they just focused on killing animals and eating it. I think.
Dude,
And then if they found something, if they found like a wild blueberries, they would eat it, but that wasn't the focus.
that's probably how snacks got started, like berries. You know, like this isn't gonna sustain me to have energy to make my next kill, but it tastes good and it's something to pop my mouth. I mean, it probably comes back to I mean, if you're gonna pick one of the micronutrients, it's gonna be meat. Because you're gonna get protein and fats, the two things that we know are essential. Carbohydrates, we can obviously be know that. But like, so Dawson works at Almonds, and we were taking care of his cats while they were gone. And so he brought 2 steaks for Stevie and I. She made the New York strip. One morning, I had eggs. One 12-ounce New York strip was like $955.
How much?
$955 for 12 ounces.
Okay.
A lot.
That's hefty. Like that, I had some eggs and that held me over. I was good for like 3 hours, like 4 or 5 hours. I didn't go too long without eating, but I felt good. So if you're getting 955 in one meal steak, why the fuck would you eat berries and broccoli?
Right.
Glove, you need to shut.
Dude, I was driving me insane.
I got it.
I was gonna say something. I'm glad you did.
Hey,
Like if it's not me, if someone decides to listen to this, they're gonna be like that fucking dog, and they're not gonna want to listen to it. Kanega told me he was listening the other day.
Nice. We had on the most recent one, we had 31 plays, which is the most we've had.
Nice.
It's not 100,000, but yeah, I like to go back and look at the trends and just see which ones get more. I think the title was kind of enticing, probably especially to Cody, because I put "We the People," the elite first. "We the People" was the first part of the title.
So Cody jumped all over that.
Yeah, you know, Cody's like, what are they talking
I don't
about?
know how he does it because I don't exactly know how his job works, but he obviously is dove deep down into a lot of this stuff going on.
Yeah, he has a lot of time on his hands, especially the way he responds to people.
Yeah, and it's a rabbit hole, man. There's so much information to sift through, information and misinformation. So I think he must again, I don't know, I'm just guessing. He must go on a trip and like work on the trip, and then he's off for like a week or something like that. And then
Well, and think about it.
all that.
If he's on a plane or something, or he's riding in a car and not driving, and you can just sit there and go through shit and read it. What else do you have?
Yeah. I always get a good kick out of watching him go back and forth with people.
I think we all do.
That one with Brunton was epic.
Well, Brunton sounds so stupid.
It was really weird. It was a really weird way to come at something in a argumentative way. He was being sarcastic the whole time, and never really making an argumentative point. Just trying to be sarcastic and trying to slight Cody with no point whatsoever.
No. Well, yeah, because his first one, he sounded like an absolute dick. And it wasn't sarcastic. He was literally saying, like, Cody, you're stupid. But then everyone after that, he's like, no, I'm saying share it more. Tell everybody. Put it on this. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, he sounded so bad. He sounded really bad.
I never actually saw what he said to Cody, the first one.
It was like something.
He said, stop putting your manifestos on, or he said, keep your manifestos on Facebook, because once you realize when you're talking to someone smarter than you, you won't like how it feels, or something like that. He said Cody's the smart one in his echo chamber, and that once he starts talking to people that are smarter than him, he won't like how it feels.
Yeah, that was the basis of it. And I said, what an ignorant thing, what an arrogant thing to say, Brunton. I bet you wear a mask when you're driving alone in your car. And like 15 people liked it. He never responded to me. I was really hoping he would.
Well, he didn't respond to me either. And I had more of a,
you guys are baiting him in.
More of a response to him.
Yeah. I love that shit, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, like, you can't take it too serious. Like, you can't let it eat you up. I just like to get under people's skin when they're, like, he didn't have to say that.
Right. There's no necessary.
So at that point, it's like, okay, game on.
Yeah, right. You'd be good on Twitter, Weston.
Probably.
You put yourself out there like that. You gotta be able to take the heat coming back from it.
Uh-huh.
What did you do with Ivy?
Well, I had to sit there and watch her eat her food, and then I put her in her room.
Dude, pets are so weird like that. They have such the strangest mannerisms. They're so funny. It's so interesting trying to figure out the way they think, what they're trying to get their point across.
It's like little babies.
Yeah, you're like, what are you trying to say to me right now?
What's going on in your fucking head?
Dude, and it's so dark.
English? Are you speaking Spanish? Like, what language are you speaking?
I had no idea what she was barking at because it's so dark. She can't see outside. She was barking outside. So I'm like, what are you doing? Makes no sense. Barking at bugs? Like, what are you doing?
Well, she got night vision, doesn't she?
I don't know. Do dogs have night vision?
That doesn't sound right.
Not very good. Cat's night vision is way better.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Probably. Cats are better in almost every aspect in terms of like being an animal, except like they suck and dogs are way cooler.
Yeah, right.
Your cat sucks and your dog is way cooler.
Well, like
James is such a bitch.
But like Tyga's a badass.
Tyga is awesome.
Like a cat's cat.
Tyga is an awesome cat.
And then Zion's a dog's dog, where it's just like, ugh, But like, if he had to fight, he'd be fucked. If Tyga has to fight or run or jump or climb or anything, like he's probably gonna get away or win.
He grew up outside too.
He's a savage. Savage.
Yeah, Tyga is just a born killer.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for fun, dude. I oftentimes imagine what his body count is. Like how many between
thousands by now.
Between like mice and chipmunks and birds. Like, I know he's caught a bird. And he'll bring it up to the door and like rip its heart out and then just leave the carcass. That's his staple, dude. You'll go up there and all of a sudden you'll just see like organs laying out and then the body
never
really eats it. He just kills it.
Yeah.
comes up to show you and then just like adds insult to injury and rips his heart out.
It's just for sport. Yeah, well, he's got all the cat food that he needs. He doesn't need to eat animals, but I feel like cats just can't help it. Like even the domesticated ones, they just want to pounce on shit.
Uh-huh.
If they see something, it's like it catches their eye, pounce. Fuck, get it. Doesn't matter.
Dude, Ivy's kind of like that too. She'll murder lizards and she'll sit there and she'll like pounce on them, and then she'll like stand on them until they're lifeless, and then she'll just walk away. Just like, why did you do that? For no reason.
What
Then
if
she'll go find another one and try to do the same thing. Yeah, like why? What is the purpose of that? There's no purpose.
That's hilarious though. Feel bad for the lizards. It's just funny.
Yeah, it's kind of nasty.
Just
Sometimes she'll hold them in her mouth. I'm like, oh, gnarly.
she like slurps them up like spaghetti. The little tail just comes wiggling in.
I think humans are the only species on this planet that have any type of moral compassion towards other things. Otherwise, we got 10 minutes. I just got the timer. 10 minutes left. That's crazy. Otherwise, I just watched a video of an adult lion kill a baby hyena.
Oh wow!
Yeah, because that's what life actually is. It is
Murder.
purely genetics and eating. If like hyenas take lions kills. A hyena will kill a lion. Lions gotta kill hyenas. Like
The food,
it's
like without the food chain, animals
Mm.
wouldn't be here. Like, you know, everything has to be perfectly lined up. And that's why animal activists are so stupid. It's like, if you want to talk about the conditions of which things are killed and raised and stuff, that makes sense. But to think that we shouldn't, like, we can't kill animals, like we will die off. Like there's a food chain and we're at the fucking top most of the time.
Well, Cam Haynes is always talking about like how conservationists and hunters, they're synonymous, conservationists and hunters, but people like to shit on hunters. It's like, no, like these animals are gonna die. These animals are gonna die anyway. Why can't we be a part of the food chain that eats them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like,
right, exactly.
Like, it's okay. So a hunter goes and puts one single arrow through an elk, and the elk is dead 20 seconds later. Or that elk can be ripped apart alive by a bear. Like or it can die of old age. And then, which it's probably, if it's going to die of old age, it's probably going to be taken down anyway, because guess what? A bear is either tracking down the calf that just came out of the mom, or it's going to eat the old and weak one. And it's just It's like, you're being an idiot. Activists really should stay in their lane. Activists should only focus on animals being abused by owners and zoos. I hate zoos. I don't like zoos. Every time I go to a zoo, I get real sad. I'm like, that tiger should not be in a fucking zoo.
Well, there's exception. If they don't know how to hunt and kill, they should probably be in a zoo.
Yeah, but do they not know how to hunt and kill because they've been in a zoo their whole life?
Well, were they rehabbed? Were they saved of some?
Well, I think that's
sort
what
of something happened.
I think that's what Wildlife Prairie Park goes off of. I think all of their animals are like rescued or saved one way or another. And what Wildlife Prairie Park isn't like enclosures; it's just huge spaces. So like when you're there, it kind of feels a little bit better, and the animals got there through better means. But like when you're in the like Peoria Zoo and there's tigers and shit, it's like, where'd you?
In a small.
Well, yeah, and it's like, when did you get him? You know, because if you got him after he was already aged and he's been killing shit, that's his natural daily routine. You know, free range. Then you put him in here. It's kind of sad.
I don't like zoos, man. And one hand, it's kind of cool because like you kind of get a close-up look of animals you would never see otherwise, unless you went to their countries where they live in. But at the same time, they're just cooped up on display, not really alive, just kind of existing.
Well, have you? I listened to this talk, so I was listening to Tim Pool. It was probably like 2 weeks ago, and it kind of wraps around to what we were talking about before. One of his guests was, I think her name is Michaela Peterson. how that wraps around to before is
Jordan Peterson's daughter.
I don't know. Couldn't tell you that. She's some blonde. She's probably about our age, but she had really bad like disorders growing up, like autoimmune.
Jordan Peterson's daughter. Yeah.
Yeah, that's her.
So she got on
Big advocate.
She got on carnivore diet and fixed everything.
Yeah. So did Jordan Peterson. Yeah, they both talked about it.
And her
Jordan Peterson talked about it on Rogan's podcast.
Yeah.
And you can go back and you can look at go look at Jordan Peterson talk. Kanega just messaged me. You can go back and look at Jordan Peterson talk in like 2017, and he's like gray and has bags under his eye, like bag under his eyes. He's skinny. And then you look at him talking like 2019, 2020 when he did carnivore, and he looks younger. He looks vibrant. Like he looks really good on the carnivore diet, and they elimination diet is what they did.
Yeah.
So they did elimination diet, and then ended up coming to the point where the only thing that didn't make their autoimmune symptoms flare up was a carnivore diet.
Exactly. And so yeah, that part. And then I think in that discussion too, they were also talking about like PETA, and apparently PETA is awful and has animals murdered all the time. So like if they think like you have an exotic animal and they don't think you deserved it, or for whatever reason, like, yeah, that animal should not be there, should not be in your house, they will take the animal, they'll get the animal removed from your custody and they'll kill it. They won't replace it because it's already been domesticated, and that's just not how animals should live. So they'll murder the animal.
What?
Like that's their thought process behind things. Like PETA's actually like a terrible organization.
I've never heard that before.
It has no logic.
Yeah, they're going.
I don't
yeah,
really
exactly.
I don't know.
Well, they say that essentially that animals should not be domesticated. They should be natural and be out in the wild. And if they are domesticated, they can't go back into the wild. So it's better off just to kill them.
It's not better off.
I would still let them loose as long as they're in their correct ecosystem. Let them loose, and if they die, they die. They become part of.
Well, yeah, but it goes back to the same thing. Like, what if they grow up in captivity and they're domesticated to some degree, and they don't know how to kill? You're just giving them a death sentence.
Well, yeah, but better that actual life takes care of them rather than.
Well, why don't you just let the people have them?
Yeah, leave them.
If you're forcibly
that
take
too.
them.
Yeah, that too.
Hell.
Yeah, why forcibly take the animal and give it a death sentence? Did you see that thing in New South Wales? What they did with the police dogs?
Yeah. No, not police dogs. Rescued. They were rescue dogs.
Rescue dogs.
Because they were. I was confused at first too, because when they said rescue dogs, I was like, they were dogs being used to help find people and rescue them that were like lost in a bush or something. But no, they were like shelter dogs that have been rescued by the shelter.
Okay.
And so there were dogs in the shelter. And so the shelter that rescued the dogs put them down via headshot to prevent people from leaving their homes to go to the shelter to try to adopt them. Because Australia has lost their fucking minds, and they're only allowed an hour of outside time. It's like they literally are supposed to be confined to their house 23
How do you manage that? How do you tell a whole country you can only go outside for an hour and like keep tabs on people?
The police are arresting people left and right and beating the shit out of them.
Yeah,
I saw some of that. Yeah,
that's
crazy.
Australia's lost their fucking mind. New Zealand went to stage 4 lockdowns again too because they had one case.
One.
They have lost their fucking. We think we got it bad over there, dude. Australia is real bad right now.
Yeah,
they got like their protests are off the fucking chain.
I've seen,
and they are being severely oppressed by their government right now. It's fucking nuts. And I got a few Aussies that I've met. Two in when I went to Peru, and then one when I was in my internship at South Carolina. I haven't reached out to him yet, but dude, I've thought about it. I kind of want to see what's going on over there. The one that is a strength and conditioning coach that I was with at South Carolina never posts anything about it. He just posts strictly about strength and conditioning.
Hey, we gotta wrap this up.
Yeah, I got like a minute left.
Less than it's gonna.
But dude, yeah, like Australia is in real bad shape right now, for sure. And they
Don't get rid of your
still-
gun.
Yeah, they haven't taken their. Well, I don't know what their gun
It
situation.
makes me wanna
Australia
buy more
has no
ammo.
gun.
All right,
There's a law against gun ownership in Australia.
put a pin in it. I want to go eat.
Me too. I'm so hungry. I'm starving. I got nothing here. I gotta call Sonya and tell her to bring home some.
You should probably just eat your own penis. Cut it off and fry it up.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's a good one to end on, dude. Good job.
Yeah, good job.
All right, boys.
Till next time.
God
Have
bless.
those.
Happy hustle.
Happy
That's
hour.
right.